was also for safety. I was just making a blog post. They just got into a car and switched into the other one. But I was making a blog post on how if the car would have been the Puerto Rican's car, there would have been something suspicious. The thing was that I saw it when it was coming through the side eye peripheral, and I was like, that cannot be. And then the car was waiting there for about 2 minutes, a minute and 30 seconds at a stall after I said that comment on it's a Puerto Rican's, and I believe it might actually be that car. I can't really see, but could run the feedback later. I mean, the spectrum analyzer was going off the fritz. Just listen to it. Arriving in one car to switch into another car is the most suspicious thing ever. I'm not going to talk anymore, just observe. I always wondered why, in reference back to my expose on the links, I always wondered why the certain Puerto Ricans look a little Arabic. And I guess if you go back to those pictures and the logs that I handed over to a shit ton of agencies tracing back to 2014, was that because they established those connections a long time in the making to get their generational sleepers or brainwashies to do that certain type of shit. Now, the funniest thing about all that is that even if they're using all this MC, all this crap to try to divert attention and hide their motives, it's not as if I'm the only one with cameras in the area. And it sure as hell is not a coincidence that the internet here and the telecommunication stations were hacked and breached. And at the very least, the correlation is there through the links, and it's called chains. That's the thing right there. Now, I don't know about you, but if I got home and I was listening on a wiretap device and given information relayed to me, and I was driving a car and I saw somebody was like paying attention, I would quickly switch into another car. Psych, I have nothing to hide. And then I drive off after 10 minutes. I'd also have another car conveniently placed at another house all the way in the back. Do you know what is the most dangerous element to this whole scenario? Everything I came across by accident. They wanted to recruit me. And here's another element. Well, no, I'm not going to say that because that's already known. But the illicit arms in the area. There's a shit ton. The house all the way at the end over there. That was back in 2014, 2016 when I took my laptop computer over there and we were making music and smoking. I think that was like an undercover affiliated terror cell. And the proof is there because they also tried again recruiting me early on in the 2020 summer. The guy was just outside, he saw me playing basketball and he's like, hey man, are you interested in a job? Come to this location at this specific time, which was like here at the Dunkin' Donuts at the Montrose and Central intersection. And when I got there, I ran there. When I got there all dressed up, he wasn't there. And that was the guy that lives at 5400 West Gray Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60641. All the way at that corner over there. All the way over there. Now, when I got there, he was never there. But he just told me, you're good with technology, right? You want a job? Why don't you go? And so I went there. And lo and behold, he wasn't there at that specific time. And when I called him, he didn't answer. And then when I went to knock at the fucking door, it was answered by his sister. And I said, hey, so where the hell was your brother? He told me to go meet up with him at this job, at that location. And she said, what freaking job? I don't know no freaking job. And that's where I'd like to introduce Element and Exhibit A with pictures that I handed over to the feds. They had black, unregistered, black market guns with no serial numbers at that house with suppressors. You know who has suppressors? Terrorists. And this all started out on accident because I went to go make music and the gun was just right there in the corner in their basement unit, just flashing, just out in the open, like it was nothing. And the basement was covered with like boards. It had a lot of weird placements. It was very, very, very soundproof, isolated. And there was recording equipment there too. You could imagine, I guess weed really does help in some regards because I was high when I went in there and the first thing I saw was all of that stuff out of the ordinary and the guns, the obvious guns and the suppressors there. And I was just like, oh my God.